The Justice Department is fighting off new accusations of a cover-up over its handling of the Epstein files. The DOJ has yet to release all of its files as required by Congress. It did release thousands of files by last week's deadline, but many came with massive redactions like these. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says they are still reviewing documents and working to, quote, protect victims of the late sex trafficker. But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are losing patience.
There are rich and powerful people. We all know this. There are 1,200 victims. They're rich and powerful people who either engaged in this abuse, covered it up, or were on this island. And instead of holding them accountable, Pam Bondi is breaking the law.
This is Washington, D.C. 101. But it's all a cover-up. The whole place is slimy. People want to call it a swamp. I said, quit calling it a swamp, man. Swamp is something pretty cool. God created it. This place is a sewer.
Joining us now, White House columnist for TheHill.com, Julia Manchester. Julia, good morning. Where do we even start? How much pressure is this putting on the White House to address how these Epstein files are rolling out?
Well, Nick, it's one thing to have Democrats like Congressman Ro Khanna there talking about putting pressure on the White House and the DOJ, or the DOJ, I should say, to comply with the deadline to roll out the Epstein files in their entirety. But it's another thing to see Republicans like Congressman Tim Burchett there, someone who is an ally of the Trump administration, really put pressure on the DOJ to release these files. Look, this is the story that doesn't go away for Pam Bondi or for Donald Trump. And it's not only Democrats, like I said, who are calling on the files to be released in their entirety. It's a growing number of Republicans, too. And we've seen the White House really struggle to contain this frustration from Republicans and President Trump's MAGA base over the Epstein files in the past. So this creates yet, I think, another test for President Trump politically as he heads into a midterm year and wants to retain and galvanize that very conservative base that cares very much about this issue.
And Julia, there seems to be also no rhyme or reason and contradictions. Some photos were released over the weekend, as you know, that had covered the faces of Diana Ross's children. Then there were photos where they're like, why are these being redacted? This was nothing to do with that. And so, Julia, there seems to be things that continue to grow and feed into the conspiracy theory.
Absolutely. And there was also a photo of President Trump with a group of women that was released online, then taken down, then put back up. Now, the Justice Department and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says this is about protecting victims and protecting their privacy, making sure they're protected by any potential threats, abuse, etc. going forward, and that the DOJ is just being extra vigilant in this. And that's why he also said that the DOJ was delayed in releasing the files in their entirety. So this is, I think, what we're hearing from the Justice Department here. But in terms of, those other photos and why they weren't released, why some of them were redacted, et cetera, it's very unclear.
Attorney General Pam Bondi tweeting that the DOJ will, quote, bring charges against those involved in trafficking with Epstein and is urging victims to come forward. But now some Democrats are vowing inherent contempt charges against Bondi over the Epstein files. How do you see this shaking out, Julia?
It's unclear whether there's going to be enough support in Congress for that. I mean, you have Democrats like, Ro Khanna and some Republicans like Thomas Massie, who I would add is a very vocal opponent of President Trump from the Republican Party, floating these inherent contempt charges. But I think there's, some caution even from some Democrats. I mean, we heard Virginia Senator Tim Kaine say yesterday that he didn't want to jump ahead to those contempt charges, that there might be any, other vehicles to get these files released or to pressure the DOJ to release these files. But Nick, like I said in the beginning of the segment, we are going into a big political year for both parties. It's a midterm election year. Both houses of Congress are up for grabs. So it's going to be interesting to see how Republicans and Democrats play this when so much is at stake going into November.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.